Have you found yourself saying, I've tried everything to get students for online tutoring and it just isn't working? It feels hopeless. Like you just want to throw in the towel. And like, why should you have even tried in the first place? So today we're going to try to tackle this mindset and see how getting the right advice can make a difference. Hey everyone, my name is Joanne Kaminski, and when I left the school system, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I was burnt out from teaching, so it never dawned on me to do tutoring. I had a friend that sold me on a network marketing opportunity that I completely failed at. I tried taking the advice that all the other people were offering in that group, but when it came time to take action on that advice, I felt sick to my stomach. I wasn't excited about doing what I was doing. I wasn't good at it, but I gave it a good year before I decided to give up. It was a big, fat failure for me. I could have left that year thinking it was the biggest failure that I had in my life and felt horrible about every second. But something amazing happened through this opportunity. I gained clarity. I figured out what my dream business would be. And from the tools that I had learned about the network marketing opportunity, I learned how to market a business using SEO and keywords. So as soon as I began envisioning what I did want to do with my life, I saw myself sitting at a desk in my basement with a headset on and a student on the screen. And I was smiling and I was joyful and I was loving every second of what I was doing. I had no idea how to put the pieces into place yet, but suddenly I had a vision of my dream business. It was online tutoring. It excited me and it filled me with ideas and opportunities that were going to change my life, but also the life of the students and the tutors that I was going to work with as well. So what if someone told you that you have to fail in order to succeed? Would you skip failure? Would you give up every time you face something that was really hard? Or would you keep going no matter what? Keep an open mind to learning what you don't know and never let the opinions or failures of others hold you back. I mean, it is ultimately your choice. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to find people that failed at it and gave up. And then they're going to give you all the reasons why it's going to fail and why they expect you to fail as well. And then there's going to be people like Elaine Lingard who have passed through their failure and met success and who continue to inspire people with poems like this. When the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Now, this is a poem by John Whittier Greenland. So first, you need to decide if this truly is what you want to do. If you are doing this because you thought it would be an easy way to make money, you are wrong. And you're going to find that there are many roller coasters in this adventure. So if you're doing this because you want to make an impact on each of your students in ways you never could have imagined, and that no matter what, it is worth taking the time to learn and invest your time and money in the right things, and you're willing to support yourself with people who are successful, then success is inevitable if you stick through the fight long enough. Then you're going to look back on all of this and be amazed how everything came together. Now, you guys, this reminds me of the construction of our kitchen. So my husband was completely unhappy with our old-fashioned kitchen. He complained about it for over 12 years. And this is kind of like the person that's still teaching in the school system or working for another tutoring company. Now, he complained about the position of our refrigerator, which kind of seemed like we had no control over. He complained about the counter and how he wanted something that was more open. He knew every aspect of the kitchen that he hated, and it made me think, does he like anything about this kitchen? To me, at the end of the day, it functioned as any kitchen does, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. But finally, one day, I looked at him and I said, are you ready to talk with someone to redesign our kitchen? And he said yes. Now, this is the stage where many people find me when they are sick of complaining about their current situation and they want to do something different. These people may have tried something on their own before, but they didn't get much success. Then they find me and I say, okay, let's start with a business plan to figure out the details that you need in order to run an effective online tutoring business. This is not a complicated plan, just like with our kitchen. It's a one-page blueprint, similar to the one that our designer created. They created a one-page blueprint, and it showed how everything needed to be moved and redesigned. But in order to make all this happen, we had to do a complete gut of the kitchen down to the studs. And this is where we need to start as tutors. We almost have to do a complete gut of all our old thoughts and ways of doing business so that we can come up with a plan that's going to be more successful. For example, if everything I write about my tutoring is about my experience, my credentials, and passion, I'm going to fail. There may be a couple of people that this works for, but overall 99% of the rest of the people who try this are going to fail. And they're going to begin to blame the oversaturated tutoring industry instead of blaming their strategy. When we gut our mind of false beliefs and ideas about online tutoring, and we believe that people do want it and that it can be successful, then people want to start working with us. And we don't have to lower our prices to compete with others because we know our value and our worth. Now, most people, they don't want to start with their beliefs. They want to start with what one strategy can I try to get the students that I need for my tutoring business. And there is one strategy, but not for your tutoring business. It's called get a job working for a tutoring company where someone else puts in the time and the effort to fill your hours with students. But expect that these companies are going to take more than 60% of the earnings. Expect to be treated like a product who's easily replaced, and expect to go back to that complaining about your job situation. Now, in the process of my husband gutting the kitchen, he was met with some pretty big fails. Like, was this really supposed to happen? In your tutoring business, there are going to be days when you feel like the ceiling is crashing down on you, or you pick fluff up where you've never seen it before. But if he quit when he was remodeling our kitchen at this point, then we wouldn't have this today. So it's super important to keep your goals in mind so that you know where you're going. And this is why I start everyone with a one-page business plan. It is something that you can keep by your desk and remind you of your goals, your plan, and the actions that you need to take. Now, the next step is to create language that will connect you with your ideal client and the problems that they're struggling with. Now, in tutoring, we often have two ideal clients, the parent and the student. We need to know exactly what they are thinking, saying, doing, hearing, seeing, fearing, and dreaming of. And once you have this in place, it's time to start putting in the cabinets, right? The cabinets of our tutoring business is our website. It's the place where we're going to drive every single person who comes across us so that they can take one of three actions. They will either come and decide we're not a right fit, decide if we are a right fit and take the next step, or be enticed by our free gift and get on our email list, which gives us the opportunity to stay connected with them and send other valuable information. Now, for a limited time, I am giving you guys my step one of my 5-step system for free so that you can get started on the right foot with a business plan that's going to get you better results. I also guide you step by step to an empathy map, which shows you how to write to your ideal client so that they want to work with you. But I will put a huge warning on this whole website thing, all right? Warning, warning, warning. Some people will copy other tutors' websites without really thinking if this is a good idea or not. They will listen to other marketers who say that you should get a WordPress site, not realizing that everyone who's in business doesn't need to get that technical with all the done-for-you tools like Wix and other companies. They will work way too hard to position themselves as an expert without identifying the core needs of their ideal student. And this is like putting all of the silverware you would normally use in your kitchen and placing it in the hardest to reach place in your kitchen, right? That wouldn't be very user-friendly, right? And so many people will then leave your website and never take the next step. And that is the last thing that we want. Now, once you put the basic pieces in place, you can begin to share your tutoring business idea with your family and friends on social media. You can ask them for feedback on your website, see if they see any problems with it. This is respecting their thoughts, giving you feedback on your website, and getting the word out there about your tutoring business with those who might be most interested in supporting you. I know some of you are thinking, Joanne, I've already done that and it hasn't worked. I respect that, but remember what we said about keeping an open mind. If every idea you are given, you say that hasn't worked, you need to think, did I truly utilize the strategy as it was taught? Or did I go through all of this as I thought it should be implemented and resisted taking the steps that were offered? I've watched tutors go through my system and make up steps and delete steps, and then they wonder, why isn't it working? In the beginning, we have to put our pride aside that we know how to do this better than all the other successful people out there and take advice from those people that are having success. And this is where most people stop. They think they have put all the right pieces in place, they've shared their business on social media, and now they are stuck. Now what? Some people start resorting to putting their name on tutoring websites like Wyzant that take a 25% forever commission on students. Then they become frustrated because there are over 80,000 tutors and people seem to be lowering their prices to compete. Their hopes begin to be diminished and they start thinking, I have tried everything. But the most exciting part comes next. And this is where you start thinking about content that you can create that's going to start attracting your ideal client to you. You can be featured on podcasts, submit guest post submissions to blogs, and add real value to your audience. You may find that you enjoy this so much that you're going to start your own podcast, blog, or YouTube channel so that people all over the world can begin to find you. And then once they find you in these other places, you can direct them to your website. Now, when we were picking out our granite, they asked our address so that they could find our house and install it. Then they used a GPS to find our house. By creating content online that is of value to your ideal client, you're creating a GPS to your website so that it can get more views, more people knowing about you, and thinking if whether your service is a right fit for their situation or not. The right traffic is important, right? I don't want to attract anyone and everyone, just the people who are in need of the service that I provide. Now, Suzanne Davids, who I featured last week on my YouTube channel about blogging, mentioned that because of using the strategy, she now has one new person a week who's setting up a consultation. Now, most of these people, they turn into clients, but not all of them are a good fit, and Suzanne can use a consultation to make that decision if it is a right fit. In fact, tomorrow, August 6th, Suzanne is going to be sharing the 3-step process that she uses with her blogging to get more eyeballs on all of her posts. I not only use this content, but I also use the language of the internet to give it that little extra boost to people finding me with these strategies so that it feels like an accident. It's called SEO, or search engine optimization. If I use this language, it's like the special code in the GPS that knows exactly how to get you from point A to point B with all the confusion on how the app actually works. The end result in our kitchen was the beautiful granite was installed and our kitchen was coming together to be used in a way that it was intended to be used. Now, this past weekend, my husband put up the backsplash, and all I could think was like, holy cow, I cannot believe this is my kitchen. And this is the exact result that I want for each of you with your tutoring business. I want you to look at the amazing path that you took, and I want you to think, holy cow, this worked. And that is exactly how Alexa in Wally feels now that she's beyond book solid. Does this mean that Alexa's business is on easy street now? Nope. Now there are new and exciting problems she's facing. How do I organize my time, my students, and the expectations of my family? These are great problems to have. And she has the support of the Insider Secrets Club to guide her through these tricky parts. Now, if you're looking for those next steps on how to make sure you have a strong foundation, then download step 1 of my 5-step system so that you can begin taking right action. The link is in the description. Now, while you're there, I'm wondering what stage you're at in your business. Are you just getting started? Have you started marketing your business? Or do you feel like you've tried everything? Comment below. And while you're there, hit that like button and subscribe so that you can stay up to date on new information when it is released. Now, if you're at the stage in your business where you are ready to create content and you've been thinking about blogging, then check out the YouTube Live that Suzanne and I did last Thursday to learn great tips for success. Now, we had a new tutor that joined Suzanne's last class join us, and she shared the valuable tactics that she's been able to implement into her blog. All you need to do is click on the video to the right to watch it. And if you'd like to join Suzanne's webinar on August 6th, click on the link in the description. Let's take your tutoring business from looking like this to this. It's going to function better and be the business that you've always dreamed of.